Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with Franchise Frenzy, Round 1. It's finally Round 1 of Franchise Frenzy, when I'll be ranking Part 1s of the 60 horror franchises I selected. At this point, if you're watching this, and especially if you're also participating in Franchise Frenzy, you should know what we're doing here, so I won't waste time explaining again. Because I've decided to include 60 horror franchises, I won't spend too much time talking about each of the Part 1s as I rank them. I'll simply give a brief reason of why each is placed where it is and move on to the next one. Also, since Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I are including the same 60 franchises, I've elected to show additions I don't think he'll be showing, because, after all, physical media matters. I want to make this very clear. Jason and I did our due diligence with this. We put a lot of time and effort into our rankings. We watched the movies, discussed the movies, and ranked the movies over and over again. Obviously, our rankings are different, so please be sure to check out his video as well. We are really taking this seriously, so hopefully you guys did too. But, of course, also had fun. We are looking forward to finding out what everyone's favorite horror franchises are at the conclusion of Franchise Frenzy. And last thing I want to say before I get to it is this. Please remember, this is a personal ranking. I'm not ranking the movies based on what I think are the objectively best. This is just my personal preference. I'm ranking these based on multiple factors, such as rewatchability, nostalgia, and general entertainment overall. You absolutely do not have to agree. That's why you have your own Franchise Frenzy. So, without further ado, this is how I rank the Part 1s of my 60 horror franchises. Coming in last place at number 60 is Poltergeist. This might be surprising to some people, but I've never been a huge fan of this movie. It just doesn't have the rewatchability for me. At number 59 is the Amityville Horror. I like it slightly more than Poltergeist, but I do find it very slow. Number 58 is The Omen. Once again, I do like it slightly more than the previous two, but it's not a movie I find myself wanting to watch all that often. The Howling comes in at number 57, and this film is a bit of a mess, and Jason and I realized that more than ever when we revisited it for Franchise Frenzy. Coming in at number 56 is Camp Blood. It's a shot-on-video slasher film. It's okay for what it is, but not a movie that's a favorite by any means. The Hills Have Eyes comes in at number 55, and this one might also be a surprise. But again, it's just never been a favorite. 54 is Jeepers Creepers. Now, I loved the first half or so of this movie when I first saw it, up until he's revealed, and then it went downhill for me. I Spit on Your Grave comes in at number 53. It's a good revenge movie, but it's not one I'm likely to watch over and over. Robert was a first-time watch for me for Franchise Frenzy, and I did like it, but regardless, it comes in at number 52 compared to the other Part 1s. The Boogeyman moved up and down in my ranking until I settled at number 51. It's supposed to be a knockoff Halloween, but doesn't really have a whole lot in common with Halloween. Although it is an 80s slasher, so I like it for that. Prom Night comes in at number 50, and while I love the opening scene, the rest of the movie is pretty forgettable for me, and always has been. Ghoulies, while being a lot of fun, is also pretty forgettable compared to its sequels, so it lands here at number 49. At number 48, I have Leprechaun. This is a movie I always think I like more than I do. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy it, but not more than the movies that are above it on this ranking. The Prophecy is another movie that moved up and down in my ranking until I settled at number 47, and I'm satisfied with it here. For one reason or another, Carrie lands at number 46. Now, I really like this movie, but this is where it ended up. That's followed by another Stephen King adaptation at number 45, Children of the Corn. 44 is Witchcraft, and as much as I love this franchise, Part 1 is not one of my favorites, so this is where it goes. Coming in at number 43 is Wishmaster. Really fun movie, I just like others more. My number 42 is Slumber Party Massacre. Now, there are things I love about this film, but then at some point it just loses me a bit. So I rank it here. Mirror Mirror moved up and down my ranking before establishing itself at number 41, but I liked it a lot. Even though I only have it ranked at number 40 out of 60, It's Alive is awesome. At number 39, I have The Original Critters, which is a really fun movie. The Purge, believe it or not, was a first-time watch for me during Franchise Frenzy, and it lands here at number 38. This might garner some shock from some of you, but The Exorcist is at number 37, mainly because of its pacing issues. 36 is Piranha. It's a lot of fun, but I don't watch it all that often. Paranormal Activity is up next, and I tend to like this franchise more than most. Even still, Part 1 lands at number 35 out of 60. Manhunter, or Part 1 of the Hannibal franchise, comes in at number 34, and it's my favorite film in that franchise. Wrong Turn is number 33. A slasher in the trees, I'm all in. Final Destination comes in at number 32. I remember how big this movie was when it was first released. I loved it, and I still love it now. The Conjuring comes in at number 31. This is a fantastic series, although this first film would appear pretty low in my franchise ranking. A slightly similar film that I like just a bit more is Insidious, at number 30. Cabin Fever is an absolute blast, and I forget how much I like this one until I watch it, so I have it ranked here at number 29 out of 60. Cube is number 28, and this one doesn't get nearly enough attention. Pumpkinhead kept moving up and up and up in my ranking, but stopped here at number 27. I thought Candyman would initially be higher, but with so many good movies, it lands at number 26. Number 25 is Jaws. What can I say? This is a film I watch just about every year in the summer. A slasher in space. Alien comes in at number 24. Just below, Predator at number 23. I think these movies just have to go together, but I like Predator more. Species is another alien slasher that I actually prefer to Alien, believe it or not. So it's number 22. As much as I love it and wish this could have been higher, Silent Night, Deadly Night comes in at number 21. Mainly because I only watch it around Christmas time. Starting out the top 20 now with number 20, one of my favorite modern-day slasher films, Hatchet. At number 19 is a horror classic, Child's Play. My number 18 is a movie I never expected to be this high, until Jason and I rewatched it for Franchise Frenzy, Fright Night. Pet Sematary has a lot of nostalgia for me, and a movie I've watched many times over the years. So it comes in at number 17 out of 60. At number 16 is another horror classic. Others would probably have much higher, but I don't. A Nightmare on Elm Street. And just above that, at number 15, I have The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie. I just love 14 other Part 1s even more. Including, yes, Full Moon's very own Puppet Master at number 14. And fittingly, I swear I did not plan this. Coming in at number 13 is Friday the 13th. Number 12 is a movie I never thought would be this high, but Night of the Demons is that awesome, and it is absolutely a movie I need to watch more than I do. Number 11 is obviously a camp slasher film I prefer to the original Friday the 13th, and that's Sleepaway Camp. We've made it to the top 10, and coming in at number 10 is the first film of the highly rewatchable and one of my favorite franchises, Saw. Number 9 features one of my all-time favorite slasher villains, Norman Bates. Psycho. The Evil Dead definitely would have ranked higher had Franchise Frenzy taken place a few years back, but now it's here at number 8. Based purely on nostalgia and rewatchability, and not to mention the fact that it's an absolute blast, House comes in at number 7. This is a big one from my childhood. Number 6 is my favorite full moon feature and my all-time favorite vampire movie, Subspecies. I went back and forth with my 5 and 4 spots, but ultimately, I think I'm happy with where they ended up. Hellraiser is number 5, and I do consider it to be a horror masterpiece. Despite that, I placed Tremors at number 4, because I cannot tell you how many times I've watched this over the years. It's easily one of the most rewatchable horror movies for me. We've arrived at the top 3, and I'm sure a lot of people will have this one ranked at number 1. But John Carpenter's Halloween takes 3rd place in my ranking. In 2nd place, which is obviously my favorite part 1 of a slasher franchise, and probably my 2nd favorite slasher film overall, is Scream. Which means my number 1 favorite part 1 of a horror franchise is Phantasm. And it's also my number 1 favorite horror movie of all time. So there you have it, guys. Round 1 of Franchise Frenzy. What do you think? Comment below and let me know. I can't wait to see all of your part 1 rankings for horror franchises. And don't forget, we'll be doing this again on the last Friday of February as we rank part 2s. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. Physical media matters. Hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.